Armin had always believed that the most dangerous things in life were obvious. Fire burned, knives cut, storms destroyed. It was the hidden things, the quiet ones, that people underestimated. And that was his first mistake. Beginning the night everything changed. The rain hadn't stopped for 3 days. Rahim Yarkhan rarely saw storms like this. The streets were flooded, the power flickered unpredictably, and the town had retreated indoors as if hiding from something unseen. Armin sat inside his small clinic, tapping his pen against the desk. As one of the few medical practitioners still open during the storm, he expected at least a handful of patients. But the streets were empty. Figures, he muttered. The clock ticked loudly. 11:47 p.m. He was just about to close when he heard it. A faint knock. Not loud, not urgent, but deliberate. Armin frowned. At this hour? He stood, grabbing a flashlight as the lights flickered again, and walked toward the door. For a moment he hesitated. Something about the knock felt off. Then it came again. Tap, tap, tap. He unlocked the door and froze. A girl stood there. She looked no older than 20. Her clothes were soaked, clinging to her skin, and her long dark hair hung over her face. But what caught Armin's attention wasn't her appearance. It was the blood. Dark, almost black, staining her sleeve. "Please," she whispered. "Help me." Armin didn't think twice. "Come in," he said, pulling the door open. Inside, he guided her to the examination table. Up close, she looked even more fragile. Pale. Shaking. "What happened?" he asked, reaching for gloves. "I fell," she said softly. Armin raised an eyebrow. "That's a lot of blood for a fall." She didn't answer. He carefully rolled up her sleeve and immediately paused. The wound wasn't normal. It wasn't a cut or a tear. It looked precise, almost surgical. And yet, the edges of the wound shimmered faintly, like something beneath her skin was reacting to the air. Armin leaned closer. "What is this?" "Can you fix it?" she asked, her voice trembling. He hesitated. "I'll try." As he cleaned the wound, something strange happened. The bleeding slowed almost instantly, as if responding to his touch. Armin blinked. "That's unusual." The girl watched him carefully. "You're not afraid?" she asked. "Should I be?" Armin replied. For a brief moment, something flickered in her eyes. Maybe. Middle. The truth beneath the skin. The storm outside grew louder, thunder shaking the windows as Armin worked. He stitched carefully, though the skin didn't behave like normal human tissue. It resisted the needle in some places and seemed to adjust in others. "This isn't natural," he said finally. The girl sighed. "I know." Armin stepped back, pulling off his gloves. "Okay," he said. "Start talking." She looked down at her hands. "You won't believe me." "Try me." Silence stretched between them. Then, "I'm not from here." Armin blinked. "You mean like another city?" She shook her head. "No, not this planet." Armin stared at her. Then he laughed. "Right, of course. And I'm the king of Mars." "I'm serious." Something in her tone made him stop. "You're saying you're an alien?" "Yes." Armin studied her face. She didn't look like she was joking. "Okay," he said slowly. "Let's say I believe you. Why are you here?" She hesitated, then whispered, "I'm being hunted." The room felt colder. "By who?" Armin asked. She looked up. "My own kind." Her name was Lyra. She explained everything in fragments, as if even speaking the truth was dangerous. Her species, known as the Illyrians, had developed advanced biological technology. Their bodies weren't entirely organic. They could adapt, evolve, even regenerate. But with that power came control. Strict control. Lyra had been part of a program, an experiment designed to create something more. Something stronger. Something weaponized. I escaped, she said. Armin crossed his arms. And now they want you back. No, Lyra said quietly. They want to erase me. Armin ran a hand through his hair. This is insane. I told you that you wouldn't believe me. He exhaled slowly. No, I believe you. Lyra looked surprised. You do. Armin gestured to her arm. That's not human, he said. And I've seen enough weird things tonight to stop questioning reality. A faint smile appeared on her face. Thank you. But the moment didn't last. A loud crack echoed outside. The lights went out completely. Armin froze. That's not the storm, Lyra whispered. Something moved outside the clinic. Not footsteps. Something heavier. More precise. They found me, she said. The chase begins. Armin grabbed a flashlight, his heart pounding. What do we do? Lyra stood, her expression changing, becoming sharper, more focused. You need to leave. Leave? Armin snapped. I'm not leaving you here. You don't understand, she said urgently. They're not like me. Another sound. Closer this time. The door shook violently. Armin swallowed. Too late. The door burst open. 3 figures stepped inside. They looked human, but something about them was wrong. Their movements were too perfect, too synchronized. Their eyes glowed faintly. Lyra, one of them said. Return. She stepped back. I won't. The figure tilted its head. Then you will be terminated. Everything happened at once. Lyra moved faster than Armin could see, pushing him aside as one of the figures lunged forward. The impact shattered a nearby wall. Armin hit the ground hard, gasping. What the? Stay down, Lyra shouted. The fight was unlike anything he had ever seen. The figures moved with mechanical precision, but Lyra was different. Adaptive. Unpredictable. Her body shifted slightly with each movement, reacting instantly. But there were too many of them. One of the figures grabbed her arm, the injured one. Lyra screamed. Armin felt something snap inside him. He couldn't just watch. Grabbing a metal tray, he charged forward. Hey, he yelled, swinging it as hard as he could. The tray connected with one of the figure's heads. It barely flinched. That was a bad idea, Armin muttered. The figure turned toward him. And then, Lyra struck. She pulled free, her body glowing faintly as she moved faster than before. In seconds, the attackers were forced back. Run, she shouted. This time, Armin didn't argue. Escape and revelation. They ran into the storm, rain pouring down as thunder cracked overhead. Where are we going? Armin yelled. Anywhere but here. Behind them, the figures emerged from the clinic, unharmed. They won't stop, Lyra said. Great, Armin replied. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. They found shelter in an abandoned warehouse on the edge of town. Armin collapsed against a wall, breathing heavily. This is insane, he said again. Lyra leaned against a pillar, her energy fading. I'm sorry, she said. For what? For dragging you into this. Armin looked at her. You didn't drag me, he said. I chose to help you. She met his gaze. Why? Armin shrugged. Because you needed it. Silence filled the space. Then Lyra spoke again. There's something I didn't tell you. Armin groaned. Of course there is. She hesitated. I'm not just being hunted, she said. I'm the key. Ending. The dangerous secret. Armin frowned. Key to what? Lyra's voice dropped to a whisper. A weapon. She explained. The Illyrians had been developing something powerful, something capable of altering entire ecosystems. Planets. Civilizations. Lyra wasn't just part of the experiment. She was the experiment. Her body contained the core of that weapon. If they capture me, she said, they can activate it. Armin felt a chill. And if they don't? She looked at him. Then it dies with me. The weight of it hit him. This isn't just about you, he said.
No.
It's about everything. Yes. Outside, the figures approached again. Armin stood. So, what's the plan? Lyra hesitated. There isn't one. He smiled faintly. Then we make one. The final confrontation came quickly. This time, Armin didn't hesitate. He fought, not because he believed he could win, but because he refused to lose. Lyra pushed herself beyond her limits, her body glowing brighter than before. And, in the end, she made a choice. A blinding light filled the warehouse. Armin screamed her name. And then, silence.
Epilogue.
When Armin woke up, the storm was gone. The warehouse was empty. No bodies. No damage. No Lyra. Only one thing remained. A faint mark on his hand, glowing softly. And in that moment, he realized the truth. She hadn't just escaped. She had changed something. Left something behind. Because somewhere, deep beneath his skin, something was awakening. The dangerous secret was no longer hers alone.